If you're feeling stuck on how to change the look and feel of a room in your home, I'm going to show you exactly how we updated our guest bedroom to take it from mismatched and random to cohesive and beautifully decorated. And we did it all for under $350. Here is how to get started. First, we will determine what we don't like about the space and what we want to change. We know that we want to change the wall color because it's an outdated beige color with an orangey undertone that gives the whole room a dark and yellow cast. We would really like for it to be brighter in here. Next, we decided that we should swap out the mismatched lamps for new, more contemporary matching lamps to help tie the nightstands together. We know that this mirror is the wrong scale for this space and decided to upgrade it to a bigger one that would also cover this plug. In most cases, curtains should always hang from the floor to the ceiling to make your ceiling appear taller and the room bigger, so we knew it was time to swap these short curtains for longer ones. And lastly, we aren't in love with the artwork in this space anymore, so we want to replace that with something that is more our style. The same goes for the throw pillow on the bed. Now that we know exactly what we want to change, we will start by measuring the wall above the bed so that we have the correct dimensions with us while we're shopping. And speaking of shopping, we headed to the best option for home decor in our town, our local Home Goods. Without the store in town, we would have to travel all the way to the mall for home decor, so we're grateful to have Home Goods so close by. We made our way straight to the curtain section to see if we could find anything that would work for us. We looked through all of the options and quickly found these.
It's our measurement that we're looking for, 96 inches of whitish. We didn't want the stark white.
It's pretty, I like that.
And it's on sale, look at that.
I have no idea why we didn't notice these small blue spots on them, but little did we know that there would be a whole different issue with these curtains later.
Yeah, let's put that in the cart.
2 panels.
For now, we were excited that we found them and went on looking for a curtain rod. There's this option. This is like a black. We're wanting either like a black or a gold rod. It's the right length. It's only $20, which is really inexpensive. Do we like that shape?
Yeah, I can live with that.
It's nice and like basic and neutral.
Yeah.
All right, let's put it in the cart. We are just killing it. Now let's see if we can find any matching lamps that we like. We are looking for either a gold or black lamps that aren't too big because we don't want them to crowd our guest bedroom.
You like those?
Yeah, that's different. Do you like them?
Not a fan, no.
Not a fan.
In hindsight, I actually really like these lamps, and I'm not sure why I wasn't more open-minded about them. They have a really cool vintage look to them. What do you think of these? They're like black and they have a little bit of gold there. Are they still too big?
They look big to me.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna find the lamps that we're looking for here today, so we'll look online maybe.
Yeah.
Next to the lamps were several rows of artwork, so we took some time to browse around and see if anything caught our eye.
That's pretty, Mom, but it's probably not the right size, right?
Well, you can flip it this way.
Yeah, let's measure that and see if we like it or not.
This one is 40 by 30.
It's a little smaller. It can potentially work, but remember we have that.
We got a cover-up plug. What do you think of those?
Yeah, I kind of like them.
They're 32, so they're gonna be too tall. They're too tall and too narrow. They won't cover the plug either.
Oh, that's sad.
We also took a quick look at the mirrors, but came up empty-handed. With only the curtains and curtain rod in our cart, we headed to the throw pillows and were happy to find an option that could work that you'll see in a little bit. The time has finally come to update this wall color. It has been like this for years. I have never liked it. I cannot wait to cover it up with the new color and update it and make it a lot like brighter and prettier in here. I took on painting this room by myself, motivated solely by the desire to finally update this wall color. I started by emptying the room of all of the decor. Since this is our guest bedroom, thankfully there isn't too much in here. I removed the bedding and stored it in the closet so that I could put the 2 smaller pieces of furniture on the bed to get them up off the floor. Then little by little, I scooted the bed into the center of the room along with the dresser so that I could walk all around the perimeter of the room to paint the walls. Then I covered all of that with this thin plastic drop cloth that comes in so handy when painting a room to cover up your furniture and stuff easily so that you don't have to move it completely out of the room. I also removed the switch covers and curtain rod hardware to make painting easier. Okay, so I think that the prepping is just about done, so that means it is time to change into my paint clothes. I got myself a painting jumpsuit. Was that really lame, or did that kind of come out looking pretty cool? Today I'm using Valspar signature paint on the walls in a custom match color that I have used on most of the walls that I have painted here in our house. All of the color information is in the description for you. I keep using this same color because it works. It's a soft white that's slightly creamy but not too yellow. And if you find a paint color that you like, then I say just stick with it. I went around the room and painted all of the edges and corners first. I was listening to Taylor Swift the whole time, so there was a fair bit of dancing and singing into my paintbrush microphone. When that was done, I switched to rolling on the first coat of paint. I ended up doing 3 coats of paint to cover the original color. 2 coats is usually enough for this paint, but it may have been the previous wall color or maybe my well-used paint roller that compromised the coverage a little bit. So I just finished up with all of the painting for the day. That was a big job painting this room all by myself, but it's so worth it because it's already like so much brighter and prettier in here. I think it's gonna make all the difference in this makeover that we're doing. I'm not gonna do much more today. I'm just gonna tidy up a little bit, maybe put the main furniture back. But yeah, then I'm gonna call it a night, have some pizza and just relax, and then pick up again with all of this for day 2. With the walls painted, this space already feels so different from where we started. It may look a bit bare now, but just wait and see how all of the decor warms up this space. So part of the original plan was replacing the mirror in here because it was too small. So we did look around, we didn't really find anything that we liked, but we did have a mirror left over from when we did my mom's bathroom remodel. So she had 2 mirrors hanging in there. We sold one, but we still had one in the garage, and I was like, maybe we should just use that one because it is a little bit bigger, but I want to change the color of it because right now it is a silver and that's not going to work in this space. So I'm going to be painting that black today. So I thought I should probably get started with that so the paint can dry and then I can work on other things while that's kind of waiting for a second coat and waiting for it to dry. The first thing that I did was tape all along the outer edge of the mirror. I have a helpful little trick for getting the tape neatly in the corner. Instead of ripping the tape, I cut the corner piece with scissors to create a nice straight line that fits perfectly into the corner. Since I'm spray painting this mirror, I need to cover all of the glass. So next, I cut a piece of brown paper to size and then tape that over the painter's tape border I had already created. This method uses more painter's tape, but is much easier and faster than trying to tape the brown paper to the glass while trying to line everything up with the edge of the mirror perfectly. I want to spray paint this mirror black, but I only have like a quarter of a can left. It's really not a lot at all. I'm probably gonna have to go buy more, but I do have this oil rubbed bronze color, so I'm gonna do this as the first coat to hopefully use it almost like a primer to cover the silver color with at least a darker color that's similar to black, and then see if I can get away with whatever's left in this can to cover it for the rest of it, but if not, I'll run out and get another can. But let's try it. While the paint on the mirror is drying and waiting for the second coat, I also have this piece of artwork, which originally I thought maybe we would paint or do something with this frame because it wasn't really my favorite. But then actually after painting the walls the nice white color, when I held it up, it actually made the frame and even the old like yellowed matting, it emphasized the cool vintage look of it. So I actually liked it a little bit more with the whiter walls. So now I'm leaning towards just cleaning it up really nicely because it is kind of dirty. Old things, you know, they get real dirty. What? But yeah, I'm just gonna clean it up nicely and then it'll just kind of hang on the wall as is. I opened up the frame, cleaned the glass really well with my favorite glass cleaner, and then put the frame back together and hung it up on the wall using a nail. Halfway through this project, my mom and I decided to change the hardware color on the dresser from silver to gold. So I removed all of the handles and my mom helped out by applying a gold gilding wax to them. Gilding wax is a specialty metallic wax that we use all the time to give hardware, frames, and other decor a pretty gold finish. We will link the gilding wax that we like to use in the description. Next, I want to work on hanging up the curtains that my mom and I got from HomeGoods and the curtain rod. So this is something that I usually wait until I can get some help with, but since a curtain rod was already hanging up there in the exact spot we want this one to go, there's already holes. So I'm going to see if I can just hang it up myself, see how far I get. But if I'm not able to do it, then I'll just wait for help, but why not give it a shot? And then just seconds into getting started, the battery died. I got a charged battery and tried my best to get the brackets hung. That was a little harder than I thought it was going to be. How else are you gonna learn, right? I struggled a bit, but the brackets all felt sturdy, so I call this a success. I noticed while I was opening these curtains that my mom and I got from HomeGoods that there is like blue thread on it. At first I thought it was ink. When I looked at it closer, it's definitely just like blue thread that was like accidentally woven into the curtain, which is kind of a little bit of an issue, but I'm gonna see how noticeable it is and if it's like a complete deal breaker. We bought these on clearance from HomeGoods. So clearly somebody already returned them for this reason. We didn't realize it while we were in the store. Again, I have no idea why we didn't notice it since it was right there as plain as can be. So I'm gonna hang them up and just see if it's like, whoa, it's also only this wide. We did not pay attention to the measurements. These are not gonna close and like cover the windows. These are gonna stay. I hung them up anyway so that we can get an idea of how the color and texture of these would work in the room, and I showed my mom the problem. Alright, so my mom and I talked about it. We like the curtains, and we even could have lived with this like random blue thread down here, but what we can't live with is them not like covering the windows completely, because we need these to function for privacy for when guests come to stay. So I'm gonna be taking these down and returning them, but I thought I would just go downstairs real quick and see if I have enough black spray paint to cover the mirror, and if not, I could just pick up a can of spray paint while I'm out returning these. I sprayed for a bit, but then the can started to sputter, so instead I got a new can and finished the mirror. Man, it is so much nicer spraying with a brand new can of spray paint. I did not anticipate this project going into a third day, but that is just kind of how it turned out. But that does mean that I am very determined to finish everything up today, which means I'm gonna have to do some things that I've never done before, like hanging a mirror, but we'll get to that. I'm gonna start the day off with something easy. We did end up getting new curtains that should work for this space at HomeGoods yesterday when we returned the other ones. So I'm gonna start the day off with something easy and hang these up first. A handy tip is to put the last loop of the curtain on the other side of the bracket so that they can't go past that point when you go to close your curtains. When it comes to hanging really heavy things on the wall, like something that requires you drilling into the stud, I usually wait until I have some help with that because I've never done it before, but I'm determined to get this done today. So I just watched a couple YouTube videos. I have seen it done before, so I'm feeling confident that I can pull this off. I'm gonna try and hang this mirror up all by myself. You know, we're just gonna get it done. First, I measured to determine the center of the mirror and the dresser. Then I put a piece of tape from one bracket to the other to make a pencil mark where the screws needed to go. Next, I transferred the piece of tape to the level and then held the level up to my center mark on the wall. I put the tape up on the wall and started to look for the studs. Since I had a specific spot where I wanted to hang the mirror, I knew that there might not be studs that lined up, but I did find one on the left side, so I drilled in the first screw. I think I did it. Okay, that's one. But there wasn't a stud by the right screw. Okay, I'm gonna need an anchor for this other one because for some reason there's not a stud where I want to put the second screw. So I'm gonna get a drywall anchor. I know things. I got the drywall anchor and screwed it in without any issues and followed that up with the screw. Okay, so far, none of that was hard. Turns out I could do it. We still have to hang it, but I'm feeling very confident right now. I would say that that is pretty level and it looks really good. It feels super sturdy on the wall. I can't believe I just did that and it was not even hard. Go ahead and do the things that you think are going to be hard or that you're afraid to do, because you might just learn something. You might just be better at it than you think. you might impress yourself, because I know that I definitely impressed myself by doing that. And now I'm gonna hang artwork above the bed. Why not just like keep going with this momentum? We ended up finding 2 pieces of art from Target, and I decided to make paper cutouts to represent the frames so that I could determine exactly where I wanted to hang them. I used some painter's tape to secure them to the wall and then stepped back to check if they were spaced out evenly and then adjusted them as needed. I made marks for where the screws had to go, checked that my marks were level, and then came in with pieces of tape also marked with where the screws needed to go. Then I made tiny holes to mark the screws and removed the paper, and that's when things stopped going my way. There might actually be a stud there. Okay, and there might actually be a stud there. So now there's a massive hole. What is going on? So putting anchors in the wall behind me really did not go my way. I don't know what I was doing wrong, but they pretty much just made huge holes in the wall, which I'll obviously have to fix. I don't know why I didn't just go ahead and try and hang these pictures up with nails, which is what I'm going to do now instead. I guess I just got confident in my ability to use anchors in the wall, but clearly I still need some practice. So moving right along. I fully don't expect these to be level at all or the same height, but let's see. They're pretty spot on actually. Not bad. Not bad. After I hung them up, my mom and I realized that we didn't actually like the light tone of the frames for this space, and they had some slightly damaged spots, so I took them outside and... But instead of black, I'm going to spray paint them gold with the prettiest gold spray paint that I have come across. My mom found and used this spray paint during her bathroom makeover. It creates a shiny metallic gold finish that is just as pretty as the gilding wax that we've been using for years, but with spray paint. All of the other gold spray paints that I've ever tried come out looking dull, but this one actually looks how gold is supposed to. I highly recommend it. I will link it and all of the other products that I have used in the description. But now it's time to decorate this room and get it put back together. We ended up finding these cute lamps on Amazon for around $51 for both lamps, and the fun part is that they are touch activated, and they have 3 different brightness settings, which are really fun to play with. Next, I added the pillow we found at HomeGoods and added back the decor that we had styled in the room before because we still liked how it looked, but this time I added a couple of live plants. Since this is our guest bedroom, I added back our tray with drinking glasses and this blanket quilt stand that we use for our guest towels. Now let's take a look back at where we started and what it looks like now. If you enjoyed this makeover, then you're also going to love watching us transform the master bathroom of our home in this video.